Hi everybody, this is George Aja with the Enjoy Life Movement. I'm going to start a 4-part series today entitled Principles for Reaching Your Potential. You know, so many times people talk about, hey, you've got potential. You've got all the potential in the world. And we hear these things and it gets to frustrating us because we're not reaching that potential. So we want to go past just sort of the superficial, surface, motivational, one-liner phrases or hooks that can excite people in a moment. Rather, what I want to do is give you principles that will ensure and increase the success rate of the potential that lies inside of you. Now, let me just start out by saying this one thing. A lot of us have been beat up a little bit in life. I get it. I've been there, man. I'm in the fight right now. There have been times I just want to lose my mind, just go, ah, and just, one flew over the cuckoo's nest. That was the last straw that broke the camel's back. I get it. I understand what it is to live your potential and to live beneath your potential. And so as I share these principles with you, just know that I'm learning and growing right with you. So I want to share these principles. They're going to be 16 in total, 4 every time that we meet, and it's going to be a 4-part series. So let's get on with it. Potential. Let's talk about it. One of the first principles that I see that is very important is that you've got to be yourself. So many times we're always looking to be somebody else. When you look at our country today, it's funny. Whatever is popular, well, that's what people are jumping on. Why? Because they really don't understand their own identity. Now, identity is a whole nother subject in itself. But we have to be individuals who are ourselves. We're being ourselves. So many times we change what we like. We change the way we talk, the way we dress. Why? Because we want to be accepted by people. We don't want to be rejected. So we go along with the current flow that's around us, and yet the whole time it is just not us. What does that do? It makes us people who are not authentic. It makes us people into something that we're not. And all of a sudden we're sounding like something that we're not. We're looking like something that we're not. And we're acting like something that we're not. And that's a great pressure, to not be yourself. Let me tell you this. Being yourself is going to be the easiest pathway that you can take to ensure that you're going to reach your potential. Oliver Wendell Holmes once said this. He said, a man's mind stretched by a new idea never regains its original dimensions. I like that. Being stretched, our mind, by a new idea will never go back to the same. And so be somebody that is willing to be stretched in your life for the sake of reaching your potential. The second thing that I see in relation to reaching our potential is not only being ourselves, and let me tell you something real quick on that one. Quit comparing yourself with other people. Who gives a flip? Listen, man. They're not you, and you're not them. So, baby, do your dance, do your thing, and get on with it, okay? Now, the second thing that you need to commit to is not only being yourself, but you got to be committed to personal growth. You got to be that individual that says, I am a man or woman who is committed to daily learning. It's a student mentality. It's somebody that says, listen, I know that there are great things inside of me. In order to get that job done, that means I got to read. I got to listen. I've got to practice. I've got to grow. I got to move past my comfort zones in my life so that I might be able to reach the fullness of why I was created. So let's just discuss this just for a little bit. You find people basically in, 3 different zones that they live in. The first one is the challenge zone. And only 10% of people live there. These are the people that are just saying, you know what? I try to do what I haven't done. I get excited about a new challenge. Not afraid that when a challenge comes, they don't run away from it, but rather they say, what are the solutions? How can I grow out of this? I'm going to pull the lessons out of the negative circumstance that I'm in. No matter how rocky the waves might be, no matter how strong the winds are blowing in your face, you're the type of individual, because you're yourself, because you've committed to personal growth, you're the one that says, bring it on, the challenge. Now, before we move on there, I just want to share the third point. So we've got be yourself, we got keep growing, but then the third thing is very important. The third principle is that we have to accept the pressure of any given moment or the position that we currently have in life. Most people run away. Most people want somebody else to put a band-aid on the current pressure, position, or situation that they have. And when I say accept it, it's not that you're going to stay there, but at least you're conscious. You're aware. And you're like, listen, these are the cards that's been dealt to me, and I'm going to, hey, if I got to bluff my way through, then so be it. And how many poker players have we ever seen literally won big purses and big hands? Why? Because they bluffed their way through. So they accepted the situation, they became solution-oriented, and they realized that they had to play the hand that was dealt. Listen, man, I don't have all the answers. I don't know why at times plain out shit happens. And it does happen. And most of the times, we're not ready for it. We didn't prepare for it. We weren't like, well, here it comes. You know, I'm talking about the sucker punches in life. I'm talking about the sucker punches that just knock you right in that solar plex and boom! The wind's knocked out of you. Your head's spinning. You feel nauseous. You're down on the ground. But you know what I want to say to you? Just let me take a pause. You're not done. Man, get up, brush yourself off, rise up to the occasion, be yourself, be committed to growing, and be somebody that learns how to accept the current situation. Once you do that, now you can move on. Now you can get after it. Now you can look for solutions. Now you can create win-win situations, because when you accept the current condition or situation and you're aware of it, it keeps you from denial. You know, I know what it is to just live certain years of your life and just be in denial about things, where there comes a time that you have to go, you know what? This is the truth about me. This is the truth about my situation. And so I have to be aware of what's going on in my now so that I can make my tomorrow happen. The fourth principle that I want to share with you today in closing, and I want to review, be yourself, because you, my friend, you're an original. Keep growing. Accept the pressure of the moment. And then finally, don't expect the experts to always be right. Don't expect the experts to always be right. You ever notice that every time you want to do something, there's always somebody who thinks they're an expert. They're not an expert, but they think they're an expert. And they're the first ones that want to chime in and tell you of why it can't be done, how it can't be done, and how you should do it. Can I tell you something? When the Creator speaks to you and you feel that passion in your heart and you feel like, you know what, that's for me, that's my mission in life, then there's not an expert on the planet that can literally tell you why it can't be done, because you're an individual who has received divine enlightenment, divine direction and instruction to do the things that you have to do. Listen, everyone has potential, an ability to improve, an ability to live a better life. That's inside of you. It's inside of all of us. But what we do with that potential, well, that's up to us. That's our responsibility. And I want to encourage you today in closing that you rise up to the occasion, that you quit trying to be somebody else. Think about our society. We got white folk trying to sound like black people, and we got black folk trying to sound like white people, and we got all sorts of mixture. Why? Because in our society, people are confused about who they are. Identity. So be that person that's yourself. You know, hey, listen, man, you know, I grew up on the south side of Chicago, and so that's just me. Chi-town. I find myself living in Texas here in Austin right now, and so there are times that I pick up the twang and the slang of my southwestern people here in Texas. Irregardless, be yourself. Don't try to be somebody else. Be committed to growth. Keep growing. Keep learning. Keep reading. Keep listening. Keep speaking words of life about your situation that you find yourself in. And when you are aware of your current situation, number 4, and you can accept that, now you can get on with being proactive about that situation. Don't expect the experts to be right. Don't give in to the naysayers in your life who are just jealous anyways most of the time. Hey man, most of the time people are hating on other people because they don't even like themselves, right? What's that phrase? Don't hate us because you ain't us. There you go. So as the old band used to say in the 70s, hey, you're a shining star no matter who you are. So baby, keep shining. I'm George Aja. Be yourself. Keep growing. Accept the current situation. And don't expect the experts to always be right. You, my friend, are the head and not the tail. You're always above, never beneath, and you always have the winning hand. Well, I'm George Aja. I believe in you with all my heart. Don't be discouraged. Don't give up. Keep swinging. And I'm telling you, eventually, in due time, you will see everything that you have seen in your own heart and in your own mind manifest in your life. Well, I'm George Aja with the Enjoy Life Movement, and I'll catch you next time for part 2 on principles on how to reach your potential. Well, we'll see you, and have a great day.